Hi Aries, this is Lada from astrolada.com, and this is your August 2017 horoscope. And what a month it's going to be. My God, we have eclipse season again. We have two eclipses, one of them massive. Then we have Mercury going retrograde. Then we have lots of planets in Leo. We're going to speak about all of that, guys. Such an interesting and intense month, life-changing month for many of us, whether you're Aries or another sign. Now, you know, the direction of your life can change in a drastic way, hopefully for better. So now let's start first with the eclipses. Well, they don't fall exactly in your sign, Aries, whether it's your ascendant. Make sure to check your horoscope if your ascendant is in Aries, so your sun is in Aries, and if you have time, if your moon is in Aries as well. So let's see what's happening. It first starts with the lunar eclipse. Lunar eclipses are always a bit weaker than solar eclipses. They last for 4 or 5 months after the eclipse. You can feel the reverberations, but especially the first 40 days they can make, and you can start feeling them a little bit before the eclipse as well, what I'm going to tell you. And this lunar eclipse is happening in your 11th house, Aries. And this lunar eclipse in particular, lunar eclipses are about something coming to completion, something peaking, some illumination and understanding coming to you, because it's a full moon, but it's being eclipsed, which means it's full moon on steroids, more powerful. But at the same time, this lunar eclipse is together with the south node, which south node is about letting go of something, releasing something, something being removed from your life. So there is interesting here. What's happening is that this lunar eclipse for many Aries can bring some kind of a completion over the coming months as well, not only in August, but August is when you start noticing that completion of some kind of long-term life goal. Maybe something you've been working for a while. The 11th house rules our long-term, something we've been working for a long time. The results of that work is the 11th house. The rewards, the final product, you know, whatever it is that you've had like a goal, like a dream of yours, and you've been putting efforts towards. Now there is a lot of focus in this August about that, but it's kind of coming to completion, to fruition. You're seeing and realizing something about it, but at the same time, you have to let go of it. You know, it's interesting, okay, maybe because you're completing it, you're going to let go of it. Or maybe because something, you come to a realization about some long-term goal or dream of yours that something is, you know, critical there, something is not working exactly. So you have to release certain parts of that long-term goal or long-term dream of yours, or you have to amend something and let go of what's not working. So that's how it can play out. Also, the 11th house is friendships. So you might have to let go of some friendship. You might come to certain realization about your social circle, people in your environment, whether it's close friends or just acquaintances. And because of that, you might have to, maybe a friend will leave somewhere to live away, or maybe you feel like you've reached your peak in certain social circumstances with certain group friends, and you release it, you let it go. And of course, there might be more critical situations as well. I don't want to go into that, I don't want to scare you, but like a friend, like a tension that happens, crisis situation with a friend that has to be released, or with a social situation of some sort. Some powerful realization that makes you release it. Also, the 11th house is gains. And what it means is that there might be some receiving of some gains, because it's full moon, you know, eclipse full moon, receiving of some gains or rewards of some sort, and then letting it go. Not like leaving your gains, but letting go of whatever you were working on to receive those accolades or those rewards or those gains, to release it after that. So you see, there is an element of seeing something to completion, but also sacrifice and leaving it behind. So keep that in mind. Okay, and then the solar eclipse, which is way more powerful. And by the way, this lunar eclipse, Jupiter helps it because it's making trine to it. So what can help you with your long-term goals, some dreams, some or work in groups? If you're someone who is a socially important person, the 11th house is society, impacting big groups of people. So if you have influence over big groups of people, organization, there might be something that comes to a completion, to a fruition, to an end, and that has to be released as well. Like a peak experience as well. You might be very influential in some way this month, and after that you change your audience in some way, you know. But what is helping you with any such projects that are in big groups, that are connected to friendships, that are connected to working in a big community, your social environment as well, is Jupiter is making trine to this full moon. Jupiter is in your 7th house Aries, which means that maybe your partner will help you with whatever is happening, even if there is a little crisis situation or change that you have to make. A partnership of some sort will help you. The 7th house is your marriage partner, your committed relationships, your business partnerships, your collaborations with someone else will help you to, whether it's to bring this project to an end, this long-term goal, or to release something in regards to your social status, you know, in regards to your environment with friends, in regards to your and even can help you somehow with your gains and recognition in some sort. So look for help from Jupiter, other people, one-to-one, another person that you're in close relationship with. Okay, and that can actually be quite good for business people, because 7th house is a business house and 11th house is a business house. They're communicative house. Communication, exchange of goods, trade is 7th house, one of the houses of trading and business. The 11th house is the house of networking and business overall. And so this can work out. This full moon can work out quite well for business, like seeing the fruition, not full moon, but eclipse, lunar eclipse, the fruition of some business goals. Okay, and then is the solar eclipse, guys. It's in your 5th house. The solar eclipse is a big one. It's a total solar eclipse, and it's kind of very powerful. It's in the sign of Leo, and it's a solar eclipse of new beginnings, because it's with the south, with the north node. The north node is about allowing something new to come into your life. The universe brings it to you, whether you want it or no, something new comes to you. And actually these are fated things that happen to you, because the south and north node, they're kind of, when there are eclipses, the south and north node cause eclipses, they're correctives. The eclipses are something like the universe trying to help you. If you've derailed from your path, the universe kind of puts you back on the right path, whatever your soul contract was before you were born, whatever you wanted to, your soul really wanted to do. And you might have veered off a lot, and eclipse is kind of like, it might feel like bumpy and it might be a bit shocking, but they kind of know your path is there, it's not there. So it kind of derails the train in a different direction, but that's more in attunement with your soul purpose. So karmic events, whether it's people that we meet, and usually they're quite sudden and quite unbalancing and quite crisis prone, you know, because they come with such forcefulness that we might be a bit shocked, even if it's good things, you know. Like I remember there was an eclipse in Leo last summer as well, which was much weaker, and it felt in my 5th house, me as an Aries, and I got pregnant then. It was a shock to my system. It creates a chaos, and you know, it creates a little crisis in your life. For the first 1-2 months you will get used to the idea, but it's a good thing. So now this eclipse is in Leo, but it's way more powerful, Aries, and it's happening in our 5th house, and it means, and it's bringing new things. So it might be also for some of you, 5th house is children, you know, might be the news of children of some sort, or it might be some mini crisis situation that's happening in the life of your children, a big change. If you already have children, that is gonna happen in the life of your children over the next 6 months. And usually you'll see the effects already within the first 40 days after the eclipse. Sometimes it might be delayed. So this prognosis will be active, I would say, almost till February, guys. You know, so within, from August to February, even later on, there might be a big change happening in the life of your children, in the life, in your love relationship. I remember when there was an eclipse, solar eclipse, in my 5th house, and it was with the North Node. That was from the ascendant. I had to let go of one love relationships. This is dating. The 5th house is your love life, dating, and a new one appeared. So it's something about, there can be a shake-up in your love life, but there can be someone like a fated romantic relationship that appears. It's not going to be casual. It's not going to be something that is like meh. It's going to be something that you remember. If it manifests through you know, through your love life, it can manifest through your children. It can manifest, you know, whatever 5th house it represents. So stay tuned for possibly new beginnings in regards to your love life with very fated, or in the life of romantic partner of yours, that brings a new direction to that relationship, or something that it puts the relationship in a crisis that has to be changed. And but it will gain, you will gain something from it, because it's with the North Node. Rahu is about gaining something, even if it's disturbing for a little bit. And then the 5th house is creative endeavors. So it might be that some of you get new creative, new idea, new ingenious, great idea that you get excited about and that you start implementing over the next 6 months. You might be decide, for example, I'm going to do a website, or I'm going to turn my hobby, 5th house is hobbies, into a passion. New beginnings, into a career, sorry. New beginnings in regards to 5th house. So our hobbies, our things we're passionate about, things that we love, they will have a shake-up and a new direction for us. You know, a new moon solar eclipse is extremely powerful when it comes to initiating new things in our lives. So it's happening on the 21st of August, by the way, guys. And I always warn, the week before the eclipse, solar eclipse, and the week after the solar eclipse, even if you're not a Leo, because it's happening in Leo, make sure you take care of your health. Make sure you don't indulge too much, because the energies become thicker and more intense, and you want to, whatever changes are happening in your life, you want to be able to be adaptable to them. So don't, and also the vibrations get lowered around full moon eclipses, basically, and you want to stay with a high vibration. So don't overeat, don't overdrink around that time. Try to be more prayerful mood. This always helps. If you pray, if you surround yourself with protection, because eclipses is when the light is hidden, and the light is God. The light is our higher direction, and sometimes we have to switch off the light. The universe have to switch off the light so it can redirect us to a new place, you know. So yeah, and the sun just came out when I was talking about that. So new beginnings in regards to something to do with your love life, in regards to the life of your children. They might begin a bit more with a crisis, a bit more with a shock, and something to do, new beginnings with creative projects, with something. New passion, something exciting that you want to do for the future. That will be gainful in the long term. Even if your child, for example, says, oh, I'm leaving home, I'm going to study, I'm going to go to live in the other end of the States, you know, and in university, that's a bit of a shock, but that's going to be gainful in the long term, because it's with Rahu, with the North Node of the moon. And what is helping this solar eclipse is Uranus is making trine. So Uranus is helping whatever crisis is happening in our 5th house, or change and crisis the same, and new beginnings. Uranus is helping. Uranus is now a sign, guys, in Aries, which means that your own personal initiatives help you resolve any more stressful situations and very ingenious new solutions. Uranus is about energy of newness, about experimenting, about taking the risk and jumping. You know, it's represented by the Fool in Tarot, but it's a harmonious aspect. So taking the risk and jumping will lead you to, will help you with the eclipse, will help you with those new energies that are around you, and will be the right thing to do. Some new inventive idea of yours, your actions, because it's in the 1st house of us, will help us deal with that situation and, you know, direct it towards our benefit. And okay, so that's the eclipses. And don't forget that the whole month Mars and the Sun are also in Leo, which means that the 2 planets of action and activity are in our 5th house. So we'll be very active in having fun, 5th house, holidaying, 5th house, in our hobbies. We can be very proactive in starting new hobbies again. That repeats the theme of the eclipse. We can be very initiative with some creative idea that we have to work on it to make it happen. You know, we can be very initiative and very active with our children, with our loved ones. We can be romantically quite initiative. We can be the one that go and approach others. 2 masculine planets of action, the 5th house of romance. You can be the one that create some romantic surprise and you get very excited to fiery planets about doing something romantic with your partner. And thanks God, because this is when my mom is coming and I'm planning to romance the shit out of my husband and to be very proactive about it, you know. So that's also quite good. Actually, the Sun and Mars love being in the 5th house. They're very supportive. Aries will get excitable overall in August, will get more active, will get more passionate, you know, they would be more willing to be center stage. Not that we never are, but they would be more fun to be around as well, more playful mood, more like the child in them will be awakened, the child in us will be awakened, and we'll pursue our goals very proactively, our creative goals and our fun, whatever we want to paint the town red. But again, around the eclipses, at least 2-3 days before, 2-3 days after, try not to indulge too much, Aries. Okay, and then we have Virgo is being activated by Mercury. This is our 6th house. Mercury is going retrograde in our 6th house, and Mercury is going retrograde on, let me tell you when, on the 13th of August. We'll stay retrograde till the 5th of September. But I'll tell you the whole August and most of September, guys, because this is a process. It's not only while Mercury is retrograde, it's the whole process while Mercury is in that area of our 6th house. Is that we're required to work harder on something regarding details, because a retrograde planet requires us to work 3 times harder, and it can feel a bit like bleh. You know, we don't like to work 3 times harder. We have to put more effort, and especially in regards to 6th house matters, which are cleaning, which is detoxing, which is possibly, for example, working on some job that requires a lot of repetition. And retrograde planet is about doing something over and over and over, having to do something repetitively all the time, having to work on the fine details and to check and edit some work. 6th house is work and the jobs and the errands we have, whether errands that are given to us from our job or errands that we have at home. We have to be more meticulous, more perfectionist, notice, and we will notice certain mistakes about our work or about how we take care of our health, because 6th house is also health, will come to the surface. It might be in the form of pains of some sort that is giving you a sign, oh, you're not you're overworking, or you're not eating right, or you're not exercising enough. And this will push you to try harder to, you know, to manage and organize better, because Mercury is the manager and organizer, your daily routines, to manage and organize better your work routines, to maybe even organize and clean your everything, the space around you, because Virgo and Mercury is about cleaning, is about order, is about organization, is about paying attention to details, is about mundane jobs and tasks, whether it's cleaning the yard, whether it's you know, doing our taxes, whether it's you know, doing something around the house that is repetitive work of some sort, or whether it's some kind of administrative work that needs to be done over and over, or checked or for mistakes and re-edited. But certain mistakes can come to the surface, guys, that you've made, and you have to perfect them. And it's great time to work on completing some work project that requires a lot of attention to detail. And by the time Mercury turns direct, guys, which is at the end of, you know, maybe by the end of September, you'll see the great results of the extra efforts you have to put in regards to attention to detail. So that's about it, Aries. Venus is in your 4th house. Whatever Venus is, this is where a source of more pleasure and comfort becomes for you. And your family can be a source, and your home and personal space can be a source of more pleasure. You can renovate and decorate more beautifully, buy something beautiful for your home now in August while Venus is in your 4th house. You can reconnect with family members in a loving manner. My mom is coming. The 4th house rules mom. So I'll be loving her a lot. Venus is love. So yeah, that's overall what I see for you, Aries, for us Aries, for August. Intense and interesting month. And yeah, we continue with the foundational course. We continue with all about Leo, all about Virgo, or about Libra. Even if you missed the previous courses, you can still hop on board, and they're all recorded, and you can personally, you know, communicate with me. You learn a lot about astrology from the bottom. So thank you so much, and I will see you in August again.